watched all of my castmates come on stage, and everyone's cheering, and I'm there like, yeah! Like, this is really cool. And no one had any idea that I was in the audience, which was so fun. And of course, doing San Diego Comic-Con, when our show had been airing, but I was only the mentor, Yoshi liked to make jokes in every single interview we ever did. When, you know, he'd be like, and then eventually there's going to be another Ranger, so, you know, someday, I don't know, and would drop the hint all the time. So I already knew it was very hard to keep a secret, but when it actually happened, it was this mixture of excitement and just relief that I didn't have to make up stories anymore about why that would ever happen. So.
Well, that choice is one of the most epic moments because you get to become a Ranger.
Well, thank you. It was so fun to film. I mean, so fun.
So my question is, when you were on set, you had a lot of really cool props and costumes and stuff. And when you left, were you able to take anything with you, either with permission or without permission?
With permission, I took my own communicator as well, so I have, that one doesn't fit around my wrist, it's too small. So I have my original communicator and JDF's communication.
I have my communicator. I had a barrette. It's really exciting. And then I do have like a lot of photos and pictures and things like that, but no costume pieces. But when Jason Frank went back for Megaforce, the 20th, was that the 20th?
Yeah.
Yeah. He sent me a picture of him in my turbo suit, and he said, "Happy birthday," and I'm like, what? And don't ever send me anything like that ever again. But he took one of my suits. So when we went back for Ninja Steel, they had everything on lockdown because Jason was little helping himself to some things. But I do have my turbo suit. It's very deteriorated now, but it's a nice memory I have with him. Crazy.
Yeah.
I have my Krell phones, my civilian clothes, so the vest, the top skirt, I just found the socks in my sock drawer, and the shoes. And I was given my spandex, so I have that, and you may have seen me wear it at various cons because it still fits.
So lucky. And she has 3 kids.
And yeah, I think that's, actually no, since they were moving to New Zealand, they were giving away a lot of wardrobe. And I have some various costumes from other seasons. I don't even know what they belong to or anything like that, but they're at my parents' house in the closet.
Yeah, there were a lot of suits. So, funny story, I don't know if some of you heard this. About a month before shooting ended, I went to the costume department. It was just a trailer in the back, and there's like 20 suits each. And I stepped up into the trailer and I moved my suit because I was gonna just try it on. And Jason was like crouched down, jamming his black suit in his And he caught me, he looked up, and I looked down, he was like, "Are you here for your suit?" I am. So he's like, "Well, hurry up before someone comes." So now me and Jason are stuck in our suits. We hear footsteps. It's Kevin, the alien. He's coming up, and then he looks at both of us. I know this is a story, I'm sorry. He looks at both of us. We looked at him. No one said a word. And he just stepped backwards. And me and Jason looked at each other, we're just like, fool. We should have done it. It was a bar. It was on loan. Yes,
I have a question for all of you. Did you actually train to fight, and how was it like doing the stunts?
Yes, we did train to fight. We worked with a stunt team, the best stunt team ever. They're so talented, so just assiduous and humble simultaneously. They work so hard. And they gave us like a month of fight training before we started filming, which was so cool. We got to work with our actual stunt double, and they got to learn sort of how we move. We got to learn how they move, so it could be this very fluid, seamless integration of the two bodies. It was very, very cool. And a lot of us loved it so much we kept doing it after we finished filming. It was really fun.
guys watched Jeopardy before or recently? Anybody?
Oh, I know Jeopardy.
So there was a recent clue earlier this month, and here's the clue. Color-coded teen superheroes, a giant megazord. Thanks to streaming, new fans are keeping this 90s kids show alive and karate kicking. One of the Power Rangers, and they got it right. So, what's your reaction seeing that now a Power Rangers clue got to be on Jeopardy?
That's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. It's just, we all just feel so honored to be a part of this franchise, and it's so crazy that it's been 31 years now. Like, it just feels like, I remember doing my first convention in 2009, and I didn't know why they were contacting me. I didn't know what a convention was. I didn't know what show that they were talking about. And I remember just coming to, it was an anime expo in LA, and there was like lines of people to meet us, and I remember thinking, this is bizarre. And now here we are, all these years later, and you guys still show up for us, and it means so much to you, and we hear all these amazing stories. It's just, and then seeing like Jeopardy, it was on Friends. When I was on the show, the Friends cast were talking about Power Rangers. So it's become this pop culture phenomenon, you know? So it's very cool for us to be a part of something like that.
So just wondering for each of you, what's your favorite Zord from your season, and what's your favorite Zord from like if you've ever seen any other seasons of the show of Power Rangers?
I liked my flying Zord.
Your flying Zord?
I don't know the name of it.
Dragozord.
Okay, does anyone know what it was?
Yes. I do.
The white Dragozord.
Which is, what dinosaur?
I know what it is. I know.
Was it a pterodactyl?
Yeah.
It wasn't
pterodactyl. So.
You had a pterodactyl too?
I had like 4.
It was a male pterodactyl.
2? Killing me, killing me.
And you stole a bunch.
I liked the Shogun Zord. And I loved the Falcon Zord. I thought that was really cool. And I got to pilot that with Tommy, so that was fun. Any of the flying ones, the crane, pterodactyl, all of those were cool. What was yours?
Mine was a plesiosaur.
Oh, that's good.
She could fly and swim.
Ooh.
She's a Loch Ness monster who can get up in the air.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
And
I got to pilot.
Tiger, elephant, and deer.
Oh, wow.
And at the end, I got a rat.
Oh. And I'm like,
I got to look up into the sky and go, rat sword. You can go back and watch it.
Rat Zord.
That's wild.
But I mean, rats are kind of scary. So
They are. I hate rats.
I live in New York. I
hate
You're getting there everywhere.
They're like the size of cats in New York.
Yes. You ever seen a rat king? Yeah, you ever seen a rat king? Nobody? Rat king? The rat king is the one that eats the rest of the rats.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Big, looks like a possum.
Oh my gosh.
They got cannibal rats in New York.
Yes.
Oh yes. Yes, they do.
And they're afraid of nothing.
Yeah.
Rats. Just when you thought rats were bad enough, I'll eat you.
Good to see all of you guys again. Good to see all of you, the stand man. So, my question's for all of you. What was your reaction when you found out you got the role in Power Rangers?
Thank God. Thank God I'm working out there.
How many auditions did you guys all have?
2.
Two?
Just one main one and a callback.
Yeah. Okay.
Same.
I think I had 7.
Yeah, I feel like the casting was like a long process for. I had 3, but I know Karen and Steve, they went through like so many different versions.
Was
Yeah,
Doug
but the rest of
Sloan
my
yours
cast
too?
Huh?
Was Doug Sloan on yours? He was, right?
Doug Sling? Yeah.
He came to the callback and just, our callback was like, would you like to live in Auckland?
Oh, really?
That was it.
Wow.
made me dance with no music.
They made me run across the parking lot. Can you run?
I was like,
yeah.
rather run than dance with
It was very
no
odd.
music.
We all just like moved from the casting room down to a parking lot. And they were like, one by one, go. And I just ran. And I was like, yes! My favorite part.
When I auditioned, originally, I was auditioning for young Adam. Because the picture they had of me, I had short hair, but I showed up with my Tommy cut, the ponytail, the hair, and they switched me on the spot to read for Tommy.
Yeah. That's cool. You really did look like him as a little kid, though. It was a really good match.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cute.
So, question for Jeff. When you had the episode where you were fighting your evil self or whatever that thing was, how did you feel about that?
Do you want the truth or do you want to lie?
Truth, man.
It was amazing. I loved fighting myself. It all felt so real. The truth was, I was very sick that day. I was being a spoiled actor brat. That's the truth. I was complaining. I was sick. I had to walk through a river, and then I had to fight myself. It was fun. So choose to tell whichever story you'd like.
There's little truth in all. The truth is the middle, okay?
So if for some silly reason all your characters had to fight each other, who would win?
Jeff.
My money's on Jeff.
Who do you think would win? Which of them do you think?
How about Claire?
Trent? Oh yeah.
I was going to say Tommy.
Tommy, yeah, because Tommy.
I mean, I had to spar with the guy
Yeah,
Rangers,
Tommy.
and I always won on the I definitely could beat Jeff.
I wouldn't mess with you.
I will say I made every single gadget, so I got science on my side.
Alright, we'll go right there. Think about it.
Okay, first of all, it's great to see all of you here, though. This is a question, at least from Kat all the way to Jeff. What was like your favorite episode you ever filmed working on your seasons? And if you watched any of their seasons past the ones you worked on, what was your favorite episode on them? And that goes for Michael too.
I have a few. I loved Different Shade of Pink when I was becoming the Pink Ranger. I loved that whole story arc. But my favorite episode was probably in Turbo, and it was called Wait and See. And hi, welcome. And it was when Kat was struggling with her self-esteem, and I just really liked the moral message of that because I was a dancer, and a lot of girls in my ballet have eating disorders and things like that. So I just really liked the message that it's what's on the inside that matters more than what's on the outside. And I got to float, like a spell was cast on me where I was floating around everywhere, so I got to do wire work and stuff. It was really fun. Yeah, I was like thrown around. It was so fun. Yeah.
Yeah, don't know why. I think my favorite episode, it's kind of a cop-out, but was the finale of our series. Largely just because we had so many Rangers and it was one of the few opportunities that we had to get everyone in the same place. And there was this great shot of all of us just like descending upon the museum, like running everyone all together. And it was not only all the actors, but it was the whole stunt team was there, like our, the local stunt doubles and our Japanese stunt team, and just the whole entire team. And personally, I worked a lot in the Ranger base, so I never really got to be out in the world with people. And just seeing the collaboration of everyone all together was amazing. Yeah, it was really cool.
I loved A Father's Footsteps, which was my character's focus episode. I related to it a lot because my character was like, her parents wanted her to stay and work for the family business, but she wanted to go to college and learn about science, and they were really against that. And then she had to fight her father to be able to go to college. And in my real life, actually getting my graduate degree when I booked the Power Rangers, and I had to tell my parents that I was going to take a leave of absence to become a Power Ranger, and my mom was like, "You're like stopping school to be a cartoon character?" Like, she did not understand what I mean, because I didn't grow up watching the Power Rangers, and she was really disappointed in me. It was a very hard decision. I actually almost turned the show down because I was so afraid of disappointing my parents. And then, you know, when the first episode aired, I went to my parents' house and watched it with my mom, and she cried tears of joy. She was so proud and happy, and she was my biggest fan. I would go to her office, and she had all my action figures, and you know, she said that doctors and nurses would come into her office, and she would be like, "This is my daughter," and they had no idea what she was talking about. She's like pointing at a toy, like, "This is my daughter." But she was so proud, and yeah, so that episode, I just really related to it. I'm not sure if the writers kind of took that from my own story because they did know my situation, but it was really fun, and I loved it. I loved all the fighting that I got to do also.
I like the White Thunder trilogy because I selfishly got like a 3-part mini movie within the season. But I didn't know what I was doing. I was still figuring it out. So my favorite episode was Burning at Both Ends because I finally felt like I knew what I was doing with the character. So yeah, there you go.
Mine, I have a couple. The first would probably be the Zeo quest, where I go back to his Native American heritage and end up finding the Zeo crystal that makes him the Red Zeo Ranger for the next season. But also the water park episode, because as a 12-year-old, it was awesome to film a bunch of times going down the slides.
My question is, if you could be any other ranger, any color from any season, who would you be?
I love Vita from Mystic Force's costume with the cape.
Yeah.
So awesome. And they would throw the cape. It's like, oh, that's epic. And she's just a really cool character. Before that, I would have said Jen from Time Force. So they're my 2 favorite female rangers.
I would be any pink ranger because I'm tired of people saying, "Are you pink or white?"
I love your costume.
I love my costume too, and my costume had a lot of pink, and my civilian clothes had a lot of pink, but I just tell them I'm pink and white and all the things.
Any 6th Ranger.
Yeah.
I really don't know. That's the answer. That's who I would be.
Since I came in as the young White Ranger, maybe playing the young Green Ranger would have been.
Yeah.
I have another question for all of you. When you went in the Megazord, was it like a green screen, or did they actually build it and went in it?
They built the inside of it. Kind of true.
Yeah, we were on an actual set that was the inside of like what they call the cockpit of the Megazord. So we had things we would stand on in there, and there was a whole built set. And the stuff on the outside of it, that was, you know, afterwards. They added effects afterwards. But we got to be in this, you know, move a little bit. They would tell us, or maybe it didn't move, I can't remember now. I think we had to pretend. They'd say like, now you're moving, and you're like, oh. You know? So, we did a lot of explosion practice in fight training. They'd say explosion, and we'd have to jump and fall really hard.
You got practice. We didn't get practice. They were just there's so many injuries. So we were like the cheap version. Yeah.
Do you like actually sit and like use like the swords and maybe like move around in it?
We could totally move around in it, yeah. A lot of the time it was the stunt doubles that were in the cockpit, but sometimes we were in there ourselves and we could do stuff.
When you like if you get hurt, sometimes like rangers fly out of the Megazord. How does that happen? Like,
How do we get hurt? Or what do we do?
Like you have to,
Oh, how do you
are you attached to like a string that's going fast?
That's a really good
Or are you
question.
gonna like land on a mat? Or do you actually fall and land on like a really soft ground?
Yeah. So we had the stunt team and then we had us. So often what would happen is the stuff that would involve maybe actually injuring yourself, that was done by professionals. We had a whole professional stunt team. They're really good at falling in a safe way. So they were the ones that did the beginning of the big fall move, and you'd see them soar through the air, and there were mats available for them too. But sometimes they would actually tumble down the stairs, or they would actually fall really hard on the ground. It was stuff that was really painful. And then we got to come in and do the end of the roll. You know, I'd like finish a barrel roll and be like, oh god, it hurt.
Flip the hair.
Yeah, of course, flip the hair.
Because you like can't really see when like they're small. When
Yeah, you can't see their face,
So
exactly.
it's just different people, and then when you actually like fall, you go in.
Yeah, exactly. So it's the genius of editing and of a really powerful stunt team. But it's a lot of moving parts. You're so right. We have to really think about the specifics of it. Maybe you should be a stunt coordinator.
Let's see, you have it right there, right?
My question is for Catherine. I heard a similar story from Johnny and Bosch about how fans would, I guess, come up to you guys asking for autographs, thinking that you were the original characters. Did you ever have that issue with Kimberly's case?
No, we look completely different. But oftentimes fans will come up and ask, like, which are you the first or the second? Like, so it happens sometimes, but because we look so different, I don't deal with that as much. Yeah, Johnny and Walter are completely different. So now I think about it, I'm like, you know, sometimes people can like, wait a second. Okay. But it happens sometimes with colors, like Karen and Nakia get confused and they look completely different, but it's because of the colors that people just get a little confused sometimes by that, I think. Yeah, good question, thank you.
Hey everybody, this is for Claire. I was just curious, what do you think Kendall's backstory, what her deal was? Because she was super young, but she was also in charge of an entire museum. And do you think she had a doctorate? Because I think she had a doctorate, right?
She went back and got her doctorate afterwards, but I think that while she was at the museum, she was working towards it, and it was sort of like one of those, this is, my personal invention, but no one told me that this is true, I just assume. I think that she was one of those things where your employment pays for your studies, and so she was running the museum while going to school and also leading the team, and then she gets her PhD.
That's awesome. Are anybody else on this side? Oh yeah, right there. Let's go. Good. That's a great question. Okay, so I have a few. I'll start this first one. Kat and Jessica, you worked with the great Koichi Sakamoto, who was your stunt coordinator, also directed some of your episodes. What was it like when he was coordinating your stunts compared to him like directing your performances though on set?
Koichi was incredible.
I love Koichi.
Oh my gosh, he was so amazing. And he was very he was very good at explaining what he wanted from you, and he was very good at watching the way our bodies moved, so that he could coordinate the fight scenes to look like my character was very balletic, and if you watch some of my fight scenes, they're very graceful and like dancerish, because that's what worked. He would make me do spins and high kicks, because that's what I was good at. I was not a martial artist. And he was just a really kind person. Loved him.
Yeah, Koichi's wife was actually my stunt double.
Mm.
Mostly in my regular clothes, but it was great, and he always knew that I wanted to try to do the fight scene, but that his wife could do it way better. So he would always let me try, and then I would walk off set and watch her doing it perfectly.
Some good fights though.
Yeah, I had some really good fights, but she was, obviously trained and way better than me, but he was very, very kind in that way, where he would allow me to at least try and sort of make a fool out of myself, and then, do it better.
Okay, so this is now for like all of you. The doing those more fights though before you got swept over for your stunt performers in the suits? Like, was it hard trying to like make sure you don't actually hit someone while doing those stunts, or you knew not to hit them though because some performers can react to the punch coming, they'll fall down obviously by faking it. So how does that work?
It's really fun. It was hard, obviously. I had never really done any fight training before we got the training before we started filming, but mostly really fun, just because we were working with professionals, and I would get very afraid that I was going to hurt someone, and the stunt actor that I was working with would be like, no, it's okay. I'll tell you if it's too much, because I'm a professional and I know what I can take and I know what's going to read, and it's all about getting the end result. So it was mostly just really fun. Challenging, yes, but I always really looked forward to being on second unit where we filmed the fight scenes, because it was extremely efficient and extremely impressive to watch, and the coordination was just, they would move through twice as many pages of the script as we would in half the amount of time. It was just like a well-oiled machine.